Paranormal Activity 3 is a ghost prequel horror movie. Yes, a prequel, as 3 is the prequel to 2 and 1, but 2 is the prequel to 1. So basically, we're taking place in 1988, and this is about the girls from 1 and 2, the sisters, but they're little girls, and we're kind of following the mom of the girls and her boyfriend, and it's just kind of more lore, and it's just kind of filling in a lot of those questions and blanks that we haven't had answered from the first 2 movies. Classic found footage through cameras. It's a little creative in spots, I have to give them that, with how like they're doing the camera stuff for it being 1988. And yeah, just paranormal activities happening. And yeah, without too many spoilers, it's just filling in a lot of the questions we have of why these little girls are just being haunted. And if you've seen the first 2, then you understand what I'm talking about. And I'll get into more spoilers in my review. And yeah, that's just basically the movie without no spoilers. As, like I said, it's just basically filling in a lot of the back lore that we're missing. And I mean, it's the same old, with just weird shit happening and they're capturing it on camera. So yeah, my review to Paranormal Activity 3, and 1, 2, and 3, the wrap up with them kind of being prequels and kind of like explaining a lot of what happened into 1. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good storytelling. Surprisingly, that is one of the things I was looking forward to in the movie. I mean, obviously these are like slow jump scares and just that eerie feeling you get from watching them. But I really enjoy the lore because I'm trying to figure out what this entity is. And then in this movie, it has a name. Its name's Toby. The little girl keeps calling it Toby. And I truly do believe that Toby is a fire entity. Just because in this one, at the very end, so we're getting into spoilers, when they go to the grandma's house, because all the weird shit's happening and they finally decide to leave the house, but we all know that it's following the little girls. Yeah, the grandma is basically in a cult. They worship Satan, and there's this big fire, which you don't really know what they're doing at the fire because it's just a quick. The boyfriend, he looks out the window and the old ladies have this fire up. And I just think whatever it is has to do with fire. That's just what I feel. I haven't looked it up or anything, but yeah. So I just like the lore of these movies. The acting's still pretty good because you have to act pretty well to convey the whole these are kind of quote unquote really happening, because that's what found footage is, right? Is that it's supposed to be real, even though we all know it's fake. Now, in this movie, the thing that you can kind of tell that they're getting more extreme with the movies, as just the entity is doing more extreme stuff, even though it's in the past. So it doesn't make sense why he wasn't so extreme in the future. But that's why I think 1's the best, because it felt more realistic. While in this one, they're just getting to the point where dude had all the furniture. Toby had all the furniture on the ceiling and dropped it. He's just doing way more extreme shit in this movie. Now, there was another part in this movie that I was kind of confused on, as the little girl describes Toby as tall. As just a tall thing, and we kind of get that because he's able to do a lot of his shenanigans with shit on the ceiling. I don't know, but nonetheless, he's described as tall. But when the babysitter's there and the sheets floating behind her, it looks like a child. I didn't really get that. Can he change his size? Still a bunch of questions. I've never actually watched past 3, so I have, even though the Blu-ray collection only has 3, I have the DVD collection with 6 of them. I don't have the 7th, but yeah, so we'll just find out more, and I'll talk more about that in another review. But yeah, just same old, found footage, jump scares. There was a couple jump scares in this that got me though, so all in all, these movies aren't bad at all. Yeah, so my recommendation for Paranormal Activity 3, and I'm gonna recommend it just like the second one. I do think the first one is just easily like the most kind of scariest for some reason. I think because it was such like toned down, it just felt more realistic. Like they start amping up a little bit more, and you start realizing that they're fake because they're just doing way more extreme shit, which I have no trouble or no problem with. But yeah, I just kind of feel like as I'm watching them, I didn't really realize there's this story and this lore because I've never watched them back to back. I've only ever watched them when they came out in theaters or on DVD or Blu-ray when they first dropped, and then I never seen them more than once. So kind of getting into this story, so we'll see how it goes. But nonetheless, I would recommend this.